Welcome to the first ever review on this channel and the first knife review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Opinel No. 6. Now, Opinel knives are made in Savoy, France, and they've been made there since about 1890. It's a small town in the French Alps. Let's take a look at some of the features of this knife. So the No. 6 has a blade that's about 2.87 inches long. It's made out of Sandvik 12C27 steel that's been slightly modified. It's a clip point style blade, and it's called that because it looks like the knife has been clipped slightly. We see what is an otherwise straight spine. Right here, there's a small part missing. And that gives it sort of an upswept design that leads to this tip right here, which is quite pointy and sharp. Some other interesting things about this knife is that it is actually a full convex grind. And it was something that I didn't realize at first because of how thin this blade stock is. You can see right here, it is a very thin knife. There's the spine, very, very thin. And it is a full convex grind, but you could mistake it for a flat grind at first. Right here, stamped on the blade, we see Opinel, and then their manufacturer's mark right here, which is a hand and a crown. And then we also see right here the phrase inox. So you might be wondering what that stands for. That's a pretty common European way of saying that it's a stainless steel. And you'll see that on Victorinox knives and many other manufacturers from there. This knife uses what's called the ViroBlock locking mechanism. Now, it is designed somewhat like a slip joint, without a detent, of course. We see that the construction is one-piece wood for the handle. There is an inner metal ring or collar right here, and then there is an outer metal ring or collar. Now, the inner one is for structural support, and the outer one actually functions as a lock. So it's pretty simple and rather ingenious. One interesting thing about this knife is that you can actually use it to lock it while it's in your pocket. So you see right here, all you do is take this outer collar and you just turn it right there. Now the blade has no way of coming out. You see when we try and open it, nothing. Now likewise, if we twist this collar, when we're ready to open the knife, you can also twist it to lock it like that. So now when you're using it, it's not going to move. Now, I will say this, Opinel knives are not meant for hard use. It's thin blade stock, and with the handles being made out of wood, and I should mention, the handle and the knife are secured actually by a rivet that is underneath this first collar. You can see this channel right here is actually meant so that the rivet head can actually not interfere with that collar. That's what that space there is for. So these are not hard use knives, and it wouldn't be a good idea to use them for prying or other tactical knife tasks. What they are very good at, however, is as a slicer. And you'll see this especially in kitchen tasks, and I've used this for some cooking and cutting up vegetables and other things like that, and it does very well. The edge was not razor sharp, but when I first got it, I realized that because of how thin it is, it actually doesn't need to be. There's really very little resistance when you cut into things with it. And because it is so thin, not having such an acute edge angle actually helps protect the knife. And you might get a little bit longer use out of it before you need to sharpen. Of course, I would recommend giving it a quick pass with a strop as soon as you get it. Now, another interesting thing about this knife is that it is actually in the Colorama series. Traditionally, Opinel knives, they had a wooden handle where the wood grain was exposed, at least the color of the wood was exposed, and there wasn't paint or varnish on top of it. But with these knives, you can see that it's actually a sage green color, and this is the sage green model. Opinel released a line called the Colorama series, where you could get their knives, again, which usually would have come in a wood finish, or at least the natural wood finish. But you can actually get these knives, and you can get them in different colors. And for a full list of them, you can check out their website. I believe they have blue, red options, some teal, and some very other interesting ones. Colors depend on the model that you're looking at. Something else about this handle, we have a little lanyard hole right here, and they come from the factory with a small leather lanyard, which I didn't find to be super useful, so I just removed, but it's something that you can certainly keep. We also see right here a nail nick to help with opening the blade, like so. Now, there are very few knives that have changed my perspective on a style of knife or a brand or a company. And when I'd first seen these Opinels, I thought that they were sort of like a vintage, collectible item. It was something that would be cool and interesting, but it wouldn't be very useful. I will admit I was very wrong. And after having this knife, after seeing how light it is, how well it cuts, again, given that thin blade stock, I have been so impressed with this knife that I just want to carry it. It has really changed my mind on these Opinel knives. Now, if you'd like to purchase one for yourself, you can check out the link in the description, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I have. Until next time, stay sharp.